to weigh in, visiting fellow at the Independent Women's Forum and president of District Media Group, Beverly Hallberg, and the president of Kaltbaum Capital Management, Fox Business contributor Gary Kaltbaum. Beverly, you know, I'm inclined to agree with Thomas Sowell. You know what? I look at the anxiety, the frustrations, and the anger now in a booming economy with record unemployment. What happens when we have a recession in this country? You know, I think we are going to, at some point, elect the socialists and try this kind of stuff.
One of the scariest stats I've seen as of late, it was a Fox News poll that was released in February that said when it comes to Americans 45 and under, a third of them have a favorable view of socialism. Now, I don't think that necessarily socialism is defined accurately. I think what young people think of it as is a expanded social safety net. But what we are talking about here is government ownership. So when you talk about wanting people to be able to have a good living, to be able to afford things, that's a good thing. But if you don't tie to it work requirements or incentives, you're going to find that people are actually worse off. What we have to do is take a look at the reality of economics and human behavior to actually help people who are in these situations.
Gary, you know, it's so ironic that Beverly would bring that up because we just got a report that home ownership for those folks 35 to 44 is at a 5.5-year high. So even as they're doing better, the allure of this speaks so much. And I think, Gary, it's not about economics. I think it's about some sort of social justice and sort of, you know, getting back at the so-called rich.
Amy Kellogg used the right word. It's a scheme. And, you know, to use the word free money, it's not free. A place like Italy is in recession, in debt. They're going into more debt to do this. And all they're doing is changing the chairs on the Titanic. And look, for here, yeah, I do believe we're going towards socialism. It's becoming somewhat mainstream. The media is allowing it. I try not to. And I don't know what happens at the end of the road. The problem is socialism does the exact opposite of what capitalism does. Capitalism incentivizes work and earning and success. Socialism does the exact opposite. And the amazing thing about this is 2,700 miles south of me is Venezuela. Just absolute destruction of the people, the country, and hope, yet the people are buying into it. I don't know how, I don't know why, I don't know what they're thinking. I try to talk to them, but it's like talking to a wall.
Beverly, Stockton, California, trying a new program as well. You know, a lot of places want to give this a shot. It was tried in Finland. It was a bust. Nevertheless, you know, this whole idea that presidential candidates, Kamala Harris, I think, is for this. So people are saying that this is just something that, quote unquote, is fair. And that resonates more than all the other words that come out of our mouths.
Yeah, there are plenty of studies and plenty of data that show that this doesn't work. You mentioned Stockton, California. Chicago has looked into this. And when we even take a look at one of the largest social experiments in this country, between 1968 and 1980, there was this idea of just giving an income, not tying any work requirements to it all. And they found that people didn't want to work. 45% less was there, the initiative to want to work. And actually, people made less money. What you have to do when you look at all of this is realize that people need to be incentivized in the right way. We should want to help people who are looking for work and are struggling, but you don't do that by just giving somebody an allowance, which this essentially is. So I do think when it comes to free market individuals like us, this is really about a narrative. We have to win when it comes to how we message this, because I am very fearful of what this does mean to the free market.
I agree. Beverly, Gary, thank you both very much. I've got some breaking news now. Facebook